trying to do?
The mic on me.
Put what?
The mic on me.
There's a mic?
Like, literally the ones on Ellen.
I have like gum in my mouth.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Are you nervous?
Like, kind of.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Does the perfect person exist?
Does the perfect person exist? Why'd you ask it like that? I can't do this. I'm not kidding. No, I just don't know what to say. I would say no.
No, the perfect person does not exist.
No, I don't think the perfect person exists because there's 7 billion people in the world and everybody has something that makes them unique and makes them different, whether it's good or bad. But I think people's flaws make them more of who they are.
There's this girl in my grade who she has like a neurological problem, and like a lot of people make fun of her, like she talks weird, but like it's like her, like she can't change it, like there's nothing she can do to fix it, but people like still like bully her, like it's not her fault.
What does being kind mean to you?
I think it means just putting other people before yourself.
You like offer to do things for other people. You're willing to do things for other people. You help other people before you help yourself. You try to put yourself in other people's shoes before you try to make a decision, or if you know it's going to affect them.
What kind of childhood did you have?
I had a pretty normal childhood.
Really hard.
I think I had a normal childhood.
My childhood was not easy.
I had both my parents. I have 2 older sisters. My oldest sister is 16 years apart from me, and my other sister is 12 years apart from me, so like growing up with them, like they always included me even though I was so much younger than them.
I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with 5 people.
But at the time, I noticed my childhood was different than my friends.
I don't like to be someone that says I had a bad childhood and think of it so negatively, because I've come out of it with such a positive mindset because of having a difficult childhood.
And like they kind of like shaped me who I am today.
Me and my siblings are all 2.5 years apart. We were close. At a younger age, everything was fine and normal, and you wouldn't be able to tell. Inside my house, things were different.
I slept in the living room on the couch. My siblings slept in the dining room in their cribs.
My friends' families had parents who were in love, and they slept in the same room, in the same bed. They ate dinner together. My family didn't really have that.
My parents slept in the bedroom, and it was like a 1-story. We were very poor, and we lived there for like 10 years.
Even though both my parents lived in my house and they weren't divorced, they were going through a divorce, even though it wasn't official. So I would go to my friend's house and see how normal everything was. And then I'd come home and my dad would be in a different room. We wouldn't have dinner together. Yeah, I had my mom and we were all very close with my mom. My dad was living in the house, but we didn't have a relationship with him.
What did you fear most while growing up?
Like not having anything ever again.
When I was younger, my biggest fear was losing a parent, especially my mom. As I've gotten older, that is still obviously one of my biggest fears, but another fear I constantly have is losing my home.
Why is that?
Because it's happened many times. The first time was when I was a freshman in high school. It was my first year going to school in this town. I had lived in Florida for most of my life. It was a normal day for me. Like I had no suspicions of anything. I didn't feel worried or anything like that. Everything in my family, like we had struggles and I knew that, but I didn't know to the extent. My guidance counselor walked into the library to find me and walked up to me and she said that, asked if I could come with her to her office, and I didn't understand because I wasn't a troublesome kid at all, and so I knew it had to be serious for her to be calling me like that. I immediately panicked because my mom has always had a lot of health issues, so I assumed right away it had something to do with that. But I was really just confused as to the way I was finding out rather than like a call from my parents or something like that. I sit down and her and the police officer begin to tell me that my parents had a lot more financial problems than I obviously knew about, and that they had been evicted from our home. We all had been that day. That the police went to our house, served them, and in the process my mother had a seizure, which she has a seizure disorder, and she had a stress-induced seizure from the situation, so she was in the hospital. Me and my siblings had no idea of what was taking place or that anything was even in jeopardy. So I sat in her office and she tells me all this, that I don't have a home and my mom's in the hospital.
Do you think most of society forgets that every single person has a story and something going on?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you love or hate a hat that said, because I'm the director, that's why?